Hello everybody and welcome here to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park for this pivotal third matchup between New Mexico United and Rio Grande Valley FC. Both teams pushing for the playoffs. We'll have pregame coming up. The 2021 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. My name is Tyler Ortega, joined tonight in the broadcast booth for the first time by David Carl. Dave, thanks for hopping on with us.
Excited to be here. An exciting, important, massive match. 3 points on the line between two teams that are dead even in the standings with just 1 point out of playoff positioning.
This is going to be a tight one here. Third time this season, these two teams doing battle. They've split the meetings so far. RGV winning round 1, New Mexico victorious in round 2. They still have 2 more battles to go here as the race for the playoffs shakes out here. Let's have a look now at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by Lumen Optimal Wellness. Enjoy a healthier body and mind today. Starting first here with New Mexico, we're looking at the midfielder Andrew Tenari. David, he leads the team with 7 assists this year, came up through the Red Bulls Academy in his second season with the Black and Yellow.
Yeah, those 7 assists, obviously the most on New Mexico United, as you said, but second most in the entire Western Conference. And the person who's ahead of him, well, he's not in the league anymore, got loaned out to LAFC. So, Tinny, it's all his for the taking.
On the other side, we're going to be keeping an eye on the forward. It's number 9, Elvis Amo, the Ghanaian striker. He's played 18 times this year. He made his debut back in 2014 with Asante Kotoko in Ghana, taking the stage here tonight for the second time in 10 days.
You mentioned 10 goals on the season. That leads RGVFC. He was also the only goal scorer on opening night between these two clubs in Edinburgh, a 1-0 win for RGV.
And we've got the national anthem starting now, so we're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll have lineups and kickoff when we return.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
I'm not a passenger. I'm a pilot.
In training?
Yeah, in training. My dad taught me to fly. To fire the burner, read the wind, and plot a course over our home, the land of enchantment. Are we still in New Mexico?
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
It's getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, how's beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Tonight's match is presented by New Mexico True. This is one of the theme nights here at the lab for the black and yellow. It's New Mexico True night. We've currently got Bob Odenkirk from the hit show Better Call Saul doing the ball delivery. Now let's jump into tonight's starting lineups presented by Michelob Ultra. Starting here first, David, with the home side, we see Devin Sandoval leading the line, Chris Wehan, Rivas, Bruce alongside him. But an interesting note that you have here regarding the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Azira, Andrew Tenari getting the start this evening. That's a switch from just a couple days ago when in the midfield you had Juan Pablo Guzman and you had Sully Muhammad. That switched back and forth the last 6 matches for New Mexico United. Be interesting to see if Troy keeps that going.
On the other side here for the visitors, it's Tyler Derrick getting the start here at the lab for the second time in 10 days. You see Pimentel and Manley there in the back line. Lopez is a known creator there in that midfield there, Dave.
Yeah, the guy has more than 30 chances created out of the midfield, and he's not necessarily always attacking, so when he attacks, it looks dang good.
Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game. Prevent RGV from taking lots of chances like you just referenced. Shut down Elvis Amo and Jonas Fjellberg, who we haven't even spoken about yet, and be relentless in possession. This is your Ben Sherman Law injury report. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help. Sam Hamilton and Harry Swartz are out for the black and yellow.
Yeah, and those are guys who are probably going to be out for the rest of the season. Obviously, both of them with lower body injuries. Would love to see one of those guys back this season, but Troy's pretty much ruled those guys out for the rest of the year.
It is Kyle Edwards in the center circle, and that means Chapter 3 between New Mexico and RGV is now underway. Michael Azira feeds Devin Sandoval. The Albuquerque native goes to goal. No foul called early.
Mike Azira, one of 50 brand new U.S. citizens just sworn in before the match today from 25 different countries in a naturalization ceremony. So congratulations to Michael Azira and 49 other brand new U.S. citizens.
And seriously, it was such an incredible sight to see. We're expecting a crowd of over 6,000 here today as Fjellberg called for the foul here on the near side on Daniel Bruce, but everybody was standing up, waving their flags, cheering. Just a super cool sight to see, and typically not something you see at a soccer game.
No, one of the coolest, I think, experiences we've seen here at the United match. These, again, 25 different countries, everything from Angola to Vietnam and everything in between. Obviously, Mike Azira from his native Uganda, but now officially a U.S. citizen as Alex Tambakis takes the free kick.
That one ricochets here. It's Wehan. He's being picked up by Manley, decides to pull it back and go to the Englishman, Daniel Bruce. Little give and go there. Here's Bruce. He's picked up there by Babukar Jai. Wehan tries to play the cross in. It's cut out and eventually dealt with there by Manley.
Good pressure up top to start for New Mexico United. Nice little give and go there between Daniel Bruce and Chris Wehan. Blocked off to the side there. Looked like it might have gone out for a corner, but going to be headed the other way.
This is Michael Azira. David Najam, the Afghan international, is dispossessed there by Jonas Fjellberg.
Interesting to see New Mexico United starting off the match attacking down that right side. I think we're going to see a lot of that today. Obviously, Daniel Bruce loves to drive down toward the corner flag, loves to put pressure when he's out on that wing on the left back for the opposition, and it worked to perfection in the most recent matchup between these two teams.
And this was something that we also saw on Wednesday night when New Mexico hosted Hartford here. It was the first time those two clubs faced each other in history, and we saw early on it was a lot of attacking down the right, and then about midway through that first half, Troy Lesane switches his approach and starts going down the left, and New Mexico able to find the back of the net a couple of times after that. But Daniel Bruce was a real key instigator in a lot of that attack.
Coach describes him as a terrier. His 5th straight start, by the way, this evening for Daniel Bruce.
Here's Rivas. It's the hometown kid right here out of Albuquerque. Enjoyed himself some of the International Balloon Fiesta last night. Wehan is trying to poke it over to Suggs. Did Sandoval. That one drops to Sandoval, and Manley comes in with a timely challenge. Sandoval whistled for the foul.
Some credit to Devin Sandoval, though. I know he gets called for the foul there, but creating some chaos in the middle. Getting the ball to deflect around. Sergio Rivas in there causing some problems as well. New Mexico United. Troy Lesane talked about this earlier in the week. They want to create problems through the middle. They did that a lot in the match against Hartford. Prior to that, maybe spending a little too much time out on the wings trying to serve balls in. When they can create problems in the middle, in the center of defense, particularly against this RGV team, it'll potentially lead to goals for them.
It's going to be a sight to see here this evening. It's Troy Lesane. We talked to him at the press conference yesterday. We brought up the fact that they've conceded once in 180 minutes against this club, and he said, yeah, that's a full credit to our defense. I think the defense has been the most solid facet of our game this year. Stambakis has to deal with that one. The run of Kyle Edwards coming in quickly. Weehan now looking to turn and run.
Well, you mentioned that defensive mindset. Troy said, that's been our standard all year. Other than a couple of outliers, we've been solid defensively, and we have to keep that mindset against RGV or they're going to hurt us. I mean, these guys, they create a lot of chances. 4 different players in this starting 11 have more than 30 shots on the season. That's going to be crucial, keeping these guys locked down if New Mexico United wants to have a shot. Last time these guys played, Alex Stambakis with 7 saves, stood on his head. Might need to happen again this evening.
And Stambakis, that's kind of been the standard for him this year. He comes in, he's top 10 in the league in not only saves but clean sheets as well. You talk about replacing Cody Mizell with such a tight time frame just before the season starts, referencing when Mizell was moved to NYCFC. Here comes Tenari, just plays the ball, looking for Daniel Bruce to the back. But going back to what we were saying, it's going to be interesting the way that this all shakes out tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned that comparison to Cody Mizell, and Cody was obviously a fan favorite here for the first 2 seasons. But Alex Stambakis with 7 shutouts on the year, more than Cody Mizell ever had in his first 2 seasons. Granted, 2020, a kind of a truncated season, but it was more than 2019 for Alex Stambakis here.
That was Babakar Dry, tried to play that one in for Edwards. Edwards gets away from it. Kyle Edwards slots it over to Amo, and RGV off the mark here in the 6th minute, taking the early lead over New Mexico, and the black and yellow just look shocked.
And that's a bad mistake on the back line for New Mexico United. It looks like a lack of communication. And really, Alex Stambakis given no shot there. Ball simply slotted across and slotted home. No chance for Alex Stambakis there after, again, looks like a lack of communication on the back line.
So Elvis Amo finds the back of the net here in the 6th minute for RGV New Mexico, with some work to do over the remaining 85. As that is a huge goal there for RGV. These two teams came into this one separated by just a point, Dave. And you can see the sweet feet there from Edwards, and Amo with a tap-in.
Yeah, a couple players there throwing their hands up looking for the offside call. May have been warranted there, may not have been. Very tight, tough to tell from the angle we see there, but flag stays down, goal goes in.
So for Elvis Amo, that is his 11th goal on the season. He is the leading scorer for RGV.
And twice against New Mexico United this year. Their only 2 goals against United, both coming off the foot of Amo.
Here's Michael Azira.
It'll be interesting to see how United responds here. Both of these teams earlier in the season had kind of a streak, not kind of. They both had streaks where they could not win games. New Mexico United went 7 straight matches without a win. RGV did them 1 better, or I guess 1 worse in this situation, went 8 straight without a win. And one of the things that head coach Wilmer Cabrera talked about is we don't have young guys anymore. They used to be affiliated with Houston Dynamo. That's not the case anymore. He said we have grown men and we haven't had the ability to keep wins. That's something we need to keep leads, rather. That's something we need to work on. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to do that this evening. Very early. If you're New Mexico United, you're obviously not happy to be down a goal. But if there's a time to be down a goal, it's early on, give you plenty of opportunity to come back.
Right, and a lot of the sentiment from the Black and Yellow Nation out there is during that stretch you mentioned, they would get the lead early and then they would sit back, right, go into a shell and let teams just bombard them with shots until they would get the equalizer, the go-ahead goal, whatever the case is. But now if you're New Mexico, you can't sit back in a shell. You are chasing RGV just 5 minutes into this one, and you've got to go get it.
Yeah, they look uncomfortable, too. I think RGV's pressing high. They don't look happy with it. Andrew Tenari obviously fouled there, so that relieves some of the pressure. But New Mexico United looking a bit uncomfortable with the high press of RGV in the early going.
And it looks like RGV coming out in a 4-4-2. Looks like you have Edwards and Amo leading the line.
But that midfield 4 pressing high, it's not just a 4-4-2. Obviously, that is the technical how they're lined up, but a lot of that midfield pressing high, so it sometimes feels like they've got 3 or sometimes even 4 up top.
Which is something that we see New Mexico do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that New Mexico does all the time and has done it to great success. So kind of getting a taste of their own medicine here, see how they react defensively. And again, think about it. You've got a 4-4-2, but you have at least 1 or 2 of those guys pressing up high out of the midfield, up with the forwards. That leaves space in the midfield. If you can get around, if you can cut through, find the lanes, that leaves a lot of room for you to operate and allows RGV to be available to take some counters.
Daniel Bruce playing the cross in, looking for Sandoval. Derek comes out to grab that one. Devin Sandoval on the hunt for his 6th goal of the season. He's got 5. That ties Sergio Rivas and Armando Moreno for second on the team. Chris Wehan, the leading scorer for New Mexico. He's got 9 goals on the season.
Is that how you look at it, though? Because Wehan, yeah, he's got 9 goals on the season. 4 of them, as that shot goes wide, 4 of them from Orange County, 4 goals for Orange County. So he's got 5 for New Mexico United. Devin's got 5 for New Mexico United. Sergio does. So we've got an injured player.
Yeah, Elvis Amo, as soon as he took that shot, he motioned towards the bench and said, "Get me out," and he started grabbing his hamstring and went down. So it looks like the goal scorer may be exiting here in the 10th minute.
Never like to see those non-contact injuries. Never like to see injuries, period, but those non-contact ones, nobody around him. That's always a scary sight to see. If you're going down early in the match, there's no contact. That can be scary. It can be muscular, and that can be a problem for Elvis Amo and RGV.
Yeah, and especially in the case of a hamstring, especially for soccer players like that, those hamstrings are typically the ones that we see that tend to linger and stick around for weeks, months at a time if you don't actually take the time to rest and get those right. But,
that's right.
As you were saying there, the trainer motioning towards the technical area, letting them know we got to get a sub in. So looking here at this RGV bench, they've only got 1 forward listed, we should say, on the bench. That's Vicente Sanchez.
Yeah, and Vicente Sanchez can come on. He can make a difference, but you wonder if RGV is going to maybe switch out of a 4-4-2, maybe stick with a lone striker here, maybe bring in a midfielder like Juan Cuzain. We saw him in the first matchup in the opening match on opening day, and he made a real difference. He was a contributor, and I think he could make a difference for RGV here. Interesting to see who the sub will be.
There is 1 player warming up over on the backside for the RGV technical area. We'll wait to see who comes on and replaces Elvis Amo. So we're hearing it. It may, in fact, be Juan Cuzain. He's now making his way over. It is going to be Juan Cuzain.
So that makes you think maybe they're going to go into a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-4-2. Potentially allow them just to have the lone striker up there. It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
So this substitution here is brought to you by REDW, CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution, Dave, for integrity.
There certainly isn't. Again, this is a big deal. This is their top goal scorer. Not only a top goal scorer, but a creator as well. The guy creates chances for his teammates. And again, we're wishing all the best to Elvis Amo. It'll be interesting to see if these guys, RGV, do switch into a 4-2-3-1 from the 4-4-2 they've been playing so far.
So just initial looks, it looks like they're going to stick to it, as Juan Cuzain playing up top alongside Kyle Edwards for now.
Yeah, out of position to start, but wouldn't be surprised to see them shift. Cuzain has played a little bit of forward as well. He's listed as a midfielder, but he's always been attacking. Hasn't gotten a ton of minutes lately, but he's an attacking player and can do some damage.
Kalen Ryden having to deal with some danger, finds the captain Josh Suggs and has that poked away by Ikaza. Ikaza playing here at the lab for the 3rd time this season. It's his 2nd time playing here for RGV. He also made an appearance as a substitute for Austin Bold earlier in the year prior to his transfer.
Gotta love that defensive movement there from Mike Azir. He gets the ball, as we mentioned, RGV working with that high press. It doesn't seem to bother him. The MLS veteran, he's been doing this for more than a decade, shrugs off the defender, runs forward, makes an aggressive move, and finds a wide open David Najim on the side. Love that move from Mike Azir.
Errant ball here from Sandoval. Juan Cuzain goes to ground alongside Rivas, and Rivas makes first contact there. No foul called either way, I think, which was a good decision there by the official. I didn't see too much contact.
Looked like Cuzain let up, maybe afraid of the contact there with Sergio Rivas, and our number 11 won that ahead of theirs.
This is Michael Azira playing it across. That's the USL's all-time leader in minutes played, Josh Suggs, the Las Cruces native, and team captain for the 3rd consecutive season here in black and yellow. This ball played up for Sandoval, so excellent in his hold-up play. Wehan now goes to ground just atop the 18, no foul called.
Looked like a good tackle to me. Looked like a good, clean tackle. But you mentioned Devin Sandoval. The thing I think he does best for this New Mexico United team is his hold-up play. Yes, he's the only forward, technically, even though several of the guys up there can play forward, Sergio Rivas, Chris Wehan. But his hold-up play, he holds the ball as Chris Wehan finds a lane. I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight.
Well, Sandoval, we saw him go the full 90 on Wednesday, so it's going to be interesting to see where Troy Lesesne goes to his bench.
It'll be interesting to see if United needs a goal. You've got Christian Nava, the academy project potentially down there. He had an appearance in the most recent match against Hartford. Came on, immediately won 2 corner kicks, won a free kick, nearly got a guy through on goal. Looked very good. So it'll be interesting to see if Nava earns any minutes tonight if United is indeed chasing a goal late in the match.
And for Christian Nava, that was his 3rd appearance on the season. Of course, made his debut here at the Lab against Switchbacks in that dramatic late win in early July. Then followed that up with an appearance at San Antonio FC. That game was on ESPN2, a 17-year-old making his away debut on national television. And this is something that we talked about just a little bit in the previous broadcast with Chris Hurst and the academy, right? And how Christian Nava has been able to make his way to signing his first professional contract. It's just incredible stuff what New Mexico United are doing and what their Somos Unidos Foundation is doing in providing fully funded scholarships for every single one of their academy players.
Well, and speaking of that academy, speaking of those scholarships, you see a lot of green and red out in the stands today. That's because New Mexico United unveiling just the other day their brand new throwback Chili's uniforms. New Mexico Chili's, a huge part of the history of New Mexican soccer here, played in 1990. And essentially it's a way for every single dollar of profit made on these jerseys and scarves is going to go towards funding those scholarships. Previous generation funding the next.
Here's Suggs on the left foot, tries to put the cross in. He's blocked by Manley. Excellent defensive play by Carter Manley, standing strong in the box.
And by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Christian Nava's first career touch in that game against Colorado Springs. How about a backheel double nutmeg?
Sublime. Just sublime. There's plenty of clips out there for it, so if you haven't seen it, you should. Go check it out. Michael Azira picks up the foul, the savvy veteran. I think he knew exactly what he was doing there.
Nothing wrong with that foul at all. A little bit of momentum building towards RGV as the ball was kind of pinging around the midfield. They finally got some control out of that. Smart foul from Mike Azira.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com.
Once again, Mike Azira pressing higher out of that defensive midfield. Almost playing as a number 8 tonight, and usually in that 6 role, going back and forth between the two. Love the work he's doing so far.
Fieldberg tries to cut it back on the ride, and that one just out of reach from Juan Kuzain.
Long ball played toward Devin Sandoval as he's kind of stopped there at midfield. That's the thing. If you're going to hit Devin Sandoval long, he's got hold-up play. It's smart. It works. He's big. He's strong. But if he's not able to get to that first ball, he's probably not going to be able to chase it down a lot of the time. So these passes to Devin Sandoval, these long passes, have to be kind of pinpoint, have to be on point from your midfielders, from your back line. If they're not, you're going to have a lot of balls going along and being handled by the goalkeeper.
And that's something that Kalen Ryden is actually very excellent with.
Really good.
Is those long diagonal balls to the forwards. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one here.
That's something that's been improving a lot in Rashid Tete's game as well. When he's able to come on, it's been him or Justin Schmidt a lot in that right back role, right side of the back three, rather. He's been improving his game as far as those long passes as well. I think it's something that Troy Lesane has really, as you see right here, tried to make a big part of United's game.
And Derek comes out with the header at the top of the 18 to send that ball away from Bruce. Azira looking to drop that one in for the Englishman.
Could Derek have caught that ball? Probably, but it wouldn't have been as cool.
This is Weehan, cuts it back. Chris Weehan, right foots, tried to slide one in for Sandoval. He was playing on the shoulder of Carter Manley.
United's playing through the middle a lot so far. Again, not a ton out on the wings. Obviously, you're hitting Daniel Bruce when you're hitting Josh Suggs, and he loves to run down the left side. Haven't seen a ton of that. United playing through the middle, forcing the issue through the middle, and I don't think RGV likes it.
Tenari on the ground. Bruce comes away with it. Weehan, that's ricocheted, still bouncing around. Eventually, Manley able to deal with the pressure.
A couple shouts for a handball there, none given.
This is Kalen Ryden here. Find Josh Suggs. So these two teams, they played here at this same park 10 days ago. It was Wednesday, the 29th of September, in front of 5,377 people, Dave. It was a Salim Muhammad absolute rocket.
What a hit.
In the 18th minute. And then capped off by Chris Weehan, the insurance goal in the 96th minute.
Looking like a yellow card there to Kalen Ryden.
And Ryden knew exactly what he was doing with that one, just grabbed the waist, but Juan Kuzain. So Ryden in the book early. That yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm.
But you're right, that hit from Sully Muhammad in that most recent matchup, an absolute rocket. Coming into this season, when we re-signed Sully, that is, I had a conversation with him. I'm putting together the match notes that we have for every single match here for the broadcasters, and we have to put stats in there, right? And the stats that I put for Sully Muhammad was his career. He had one career shot on goal, and one career goal. I told him, don't shoot this season. Keep that perfect shot percentage. He did not listen, and it worked out for him.
Well, I mean, I guess he did technically listen because he did keep the perfect shot percentage. 2 for 2, Salih Muhammad. We should be seeing that coming up for goal of the week probably soon, I'm guessing. I haven't seen anything on the league website yet.
I would hope so. Amanda Moreno up for goal of the month, by the way. United fans, please go and make sure you make your voices heard on that one.
So this is Michael Azira, finds Sergio Rivas. Trying to play Bruce, he's onside, flag stays down. Daniel Bruce, the Englishman, right-footed shot, and it's blocked. Carter Manley once again comes up huge defensively.
That is a massive block from Carter Manley. Daniel Bruce through on the left side, doing exactly what they want him to do. He's technically out of position. He's been down the right side the whole day. But a heck of a block from Carter Manley earns the corner for United.
This is the first Bank of America corner kick of the evening with over 4,600 locations. Convenient banking is just around the corner. This is the captain, Josh Suggs, back to send this one in. The lefty, he'll be playing the outswinger. Suggs delivers, back post, Kalen Ryden, and that one just goes high from the Norman, Oklahoma native, Kalen Ryden.
Always hoping for a goal on a corner kick. It's always good. New Mexico United prides themselves on set pieces offensively. One of the things that would have made it even more awesome, though, the magic minute, something we talk about a lot here on the broadcast and in general, 1912 to 2019. New Mexico United fans kind of lose their minds. There's only been one ever goal scored by New Mexico United during the magic minute. It was in the inaugural season. I think we're about due for another one, maybe next match.
Speaking of New Mexico, with just a couple of home matches left on the season after this one. Ooh, there's a little scorpion there.
Olivier Giroud. Paging Olivier Giroud.
Looked to be Juan Carlos Azocar there. The RGV, they've been switching back and forth from a back three to a back four as play has continued.
Yeah, it looks like they're in a back four when they're out of possession, a back three when they're in possession. As we said, those midfielders moving forward to essentially become forwards, and you're having 1 to 2 of those guys on the back line essentially move into the midfield. So interesting to see again. As I said earlier, this leaves them open to counters if New Mexico United can immediately control possession and look for outlets.
So throwing this one is Acosar out of Maracay, Venezuela. Stambakis comes out to grab that one. Azocar, he's actually here on loan from Deportivo La Guardia.
They came all the way from LaGuardia? That's a long flight.
Probably mispronounced that.
No, LaGuardia, it's an airport in New York.
Yeah, no,
it's all good.
I'm talking about the club. Back to Tete. This is the Ghanaian Rashid Tete. Had his compatriot Amo out there earlier in the match, who scored the opener in the 6th minute. Daniel Bruce offside.
That one looked just about as even as the one that he went through on before, so the flag goes up this time, not the other time. A little closer to the AR, I suppose, this time.
That is the gaffer, Troy Lesane. This is his 3rd year in charge of New Mexico.
You mentioned early in the match, Bob Odenkirk here today, cheering along New Mexico United alongside all the faithful here. Maybe nobody more excited to see Bob Odenkirk than Troy Lesane. We were talking to him earlier in the week when he found out. Very excited Bob Odenkirk is here. He's a big Better Call Saul fan.
Yeah, Lesane, he spent about, 5-10 minutes down pregame just talking with Odenkirk down at one of the corner flags. It was a really cool sight to see, especially being here in Albuquerque. Of course, you know, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, all of that stuff happens right here in Albuquerque.
And plenty more as the New Mexico film industry continues to grow. It's an awesome thing to see. You got a lot of folks down here, a lot of, we want to call them celebrities, I guess is the word we'd use, but people coming down to cheer on United.
What a turn from Fjellberg, but even better defensive work from David Najum, and Daniel Bruce will draw the foul.
That's excellent defensively from David Najum. A lot of pressure up there, has the wherewithal, the thought process to not just boot it upfield, but turn and find Bruce, who does draw the foul. Another long ball.
Yeah, Zira looking for Rivas. What a touch from Sergio Rivas, right foot. Pokes it away, Weehan slots it home. Chris Weehan ties it up here in the 24th minute. That's his 10th goal on this season, 6th for New Mexico, and he is now your leading scorer in black and yellow this year.
We were talking about it before. Is he actually the leading scorer because 4 of those goals came from OC? Well, he certainly is now, any way you slice it. What a play from Sergio Rivas. That first touch to control the ball, turn away from the defensive pressure, and immediately find Chris Weehan out on the right side, who just slots it home. Cool as you like.
24th minute for Chris Weehan. And it's been a custom here, Dave. It's been coming a custom that, you know, when you're at the lab, it's just a matter of when is Weehan going to score.
Yeah.
Not if he's going to score. Chris Weehan playing out of his mind since coming back to New Mexico. As you have a look on that TLC replay, goals are brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile has Chris Weehan covered.
Watching that replay there, that shot wasn't as easy as it looked at first. It looked like he just kind of slotted it home. No, he went to go over the keeper to the far post. Well done by Chris Weehan. Again, can't give enough credit to Sergio Rivas on that first touch, but Weehan still had some work to do when he got it.
Absolutely soft as a baby's bottom with that first touch with Sergio Rivas. And let's talk about the ball that was played over the top. Michael Azira deserves some credit for that one. It was perfectly hit, perfectly weighted.
Yeah, Zero with the hockey assist. He's been doing that a few times tonight. Looks like it's really part of Troy Lesesne's game plan to just send these long balls. It worked in the last matchup against RGV. Again, ended up with 2 goals. You know, none of those goals actually coming off the long balls, but they pressured that back line of RGV all day. They're going to continue to try those long balls. Here we go.
Speaking of, Chris Weehan, flag goes up for offside. New Mexico going right back to it. Hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's right.
And New Mexico ties things up here with RGV. We've got a good one on our hands, just like we expected. These two teams neck and neck when it comes to the playoff push.
Look at that supporter section right now. Flags in the air. Fans going crazy. Loving to see that. I've seen the Chili's flags in here. The New Mexico True sponsored Chili's flags as part of New Mexico True Night. A lot of green and red mixed in with the black and yellow. The fans loving it.
It's incredible to see. That's one of the capos. That's
Go on, Wes.
Wes Torres handling the duties here today. Nice to see Wes out there. This is his second time capoing this season as Tete heads that one away from Edwards.
Got to communicate, boys.
Najum with a little bit of a heavy first touch, and that was exactly how RGV got through for their first goal.
Yeah, can't have those kind of turnovers in the back there. Got to communicate. At the very least, things get uncomfortable, just boot the ball out. Sergio Rivas now.
Rivas plays that one over for Weehan.
Oh, what a step by Bees there.
Weehan will play it now back to Azira. 130 MLS appearances under his belt for Michael Azira. That in Montreal, Colorado. Bruce flagged for offside again. The Englishman starting to get a little bit frustrated.
You know, obviously you don't want to see the flag go up against your guys over and over again, but I got to imagine Coach Troy Lesesne really happy with the play through the middle. This is, again, something he mentioned at midweek he really wants to see more of. Guys really trying to push the ball through the middle. Don't settle for these crosses from the wings. You've got great players on the wings in Daniel Bruce and Josh Suggs, but you have a lot of talent in the middle. Sergio Rivas looking like he's on it tonight. Really great touch on the assist, but great movement and great passing so far. You know, Andrew Tanari, more of the same, and the great hold-up play for Devin Sandoval leads to potential chances for Chris Weehan. They look strong through the middle this evening.
With sights set on home field advantage, El Paso Locomotive welcome an OKC Energy side looking to remain above the playoff line. It's El Paso and OKC Sunday, October 24th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes.
Not the only OKC match that New Mexico United fans will probably want to tune into. Tomorrow, a huge match when it comes to the playoff picture in the Mountain Division, as OKC going to be taking on Austin Bold, who, as you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Tyler, sit just 1 point ahead of both of these clubs with a match in hand.
Kalen Ryden hits that one as Fjellberg jumps in to Strip that one. Here's Fjellberg again, working a little give and go. Is Fjellberg played in. That one cut off. Fjellberg once again, and he sends it into the curse.
Kalen Ryden with the stop there, keeping it away from goal, which is a good thing, but either too much or not enough. You got to make your pick there. You either got to boot that out or you got to maintain control of it. Instead, leaves it about 3 to 4 feet in front of him, allows the shot to go. Unfortunately for New Mexico United, it does go wide.
So this is Alex Tambakis, the Athenian goalkeeper. Came up through the Panathinaikos youth system out in Greece. Was the first signing in Atlanta United history, although was immediately loaned out after that.
Pronounce that club again and say it 5 times fast.
Nope.
All right. I can't even say it once.
Panathinaikos.
There you go.
I've said it so many times on the broadcast, it's like, I think I can do this one. Back to Tyler Derrick. Most recently played with Houston Dynamo, the Houston native. Derrick, a little bit on the older side when it comes to goalkeepers, 33 years old.
We've seen goalkeepers this season as young as 16, by the way.
Right.
Smart idea on the play there toward the corner. Devin Sandoval even smarter. He's offside, knows he's going to be called for offside, has to leave that ball. Andrew Tenari making a late run for it, but it does go out for a goal kick.
And Derrick forced to make a run there. And Derrick, when he was here last time, conceded twice. So New Mexico were victorious, as we mentioned, just 10 days ago. And that's something, when you come into a match on such a short time span against the same team, knowing that you defeated them handily last time, we'll say handily in quotations, it was a 2-0 win with the insurance goal tacked on just before the final whistle. But that has to give you a boost of confidence.
Absolutely, and you mentioned, it was an insurance goal tacked on in the 96th minute, right? So it's not like they were up 2-0 the whole match just seeing it out. But something that's really important, we talked about earlier, New Mexico United had trouble earlier in the season seeing out 1-0 leads. They haven't had that issue lately, knock on wood. New Mexico United really, with the resolve lately, they've had a couple matches that they've either had a lead or they've been searching for that final goal, and the mental toughness has been there.
Yeah, and I think it is important to note that during that tough stretch that New Mexico went through, majority of that was without Kalen Ryden.
Yeah.
Their defensive stalwart, up until then, he had played every single minute of every single match. But, of course, he did miss a few, and New Mexico, you could tell, and that's not a knock to the other defenders that stepped in to replace him. In the words of Troy Lesane, Kalen Ryden is not one of the best defenders or the best center backs in the league. He is the best.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree with him in a lot of ways. Kalen Ryden, not just in the way he defends, which is incredible, but in the way he distributes calmly under pressure from that back line makes a huge difference. He, alongside another defensive stalwart for New Mexico United in Austin Yearwood, have been absolutely incredible this year. Yearwood missing just his second match of the season as far as starters go this evening.
And squad rotation is a factor here for Troy Lesane. That was something that I asked him about just a couple of days ago. New Mexico, as you recall, they played last Wednesday against this RGV side, then traveled to Louisville on Sunday as Devin Sandoval takes a shot and goes down.
Second yellow of the match.
And that is going to be a yellow, it looks like, on Juan Carlos Azocar. Or no, it looks like it's actually going to go against Pimentel. So we are hearing that it is against Pimentel here in the 33rd minute. I think the foul occurred there in the 32nd. But yeah, you said it, Dave. That's the second yellow card issued here today. Kalen Ryden, the recipient of the other.
Yet RGV taking the free kick. Interesting.
And that yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm.
Be interested to see why there was a yellow card issued to an RGV player, yet they get the free kick here. Maybe the initial foul called on New Mexico United and the yellow card given for something else? Don't know.
Tenari. It's a great touch to Azira there, and now trying to chip that one over the top for Sandoval, and that's going to go harmlessly to Tyler Derrick.
You mentioned Devin Sandoval picking up 90 minutes in the most recent match on Wednesday against Hartford Athletic. Obviously, that's just a few days ago. Be interesting to see. He's running like crazy. He's pressuring up top. He's not holding back. Devin Sandoval, as we all well know, has one setting, and that is 110%. It's be interesting to see how long he can maintain. If he plays another 90 minutes, that'd be incredibly impressive. But if not, as we mentioned, Christian Nava there waiting in the wings.
Nava, Chelo Martinez as well.
Yeah.
You know, we could see, you mentioned how interchangeable a lot of these pieces are for New Mexico. You could see Weehan lead the line. You could see Rivas lead the line. If you want to bring in Chelo, you could see Chelo even up top as Tenari tries to wrap his foot around this one, gets the cross in. It's sent away by Manley out to Fieldberg.
But you're hitting on a really good point there. I think we saw it in the offseason where Troy Lesesne was bringing in, yes, important players, yes, players who have a lot of talent, and yes, players who, you know, work well in this community and work well in this locker room. But it looked like this year, maybe more so than in the past two off seasons, Troy really looking for players who can fit multiple positions, can play multiple positions, can play up top and the midfield, or in midfield and the back. Interesting to see, you know, that happened quite a bit this year. We've seen Chelo Martinez play it forward once or twice this season. You know, I think that's something that we could potentially see a lot more of. Obviously, Amando Moreno not available this evening. You know, saw out a 1-0 win last night for El Salvador in World Cup qualifying, and we're all happy to see that for him. But interesting to see how things will be interchanged as the match goes on.
And New Mexico missing Moreno once again. He's been in and out of the side, as Dave mentioned, on international duty with El Salvador. And you can see Tyler Derrick.
And we'd mentioned interchangeable players. Tyler Derrick trying to play center back here.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and our pal Devin Kerr every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
You mentioned Mike Watts and our pal Devin Kerr. Hey, Mike Watts is our pal too. I like that guy.
Devin Kerr was here.
He was
with me and Chris in the booth a couple months ago.
Called a heck of a game.
He
All
did.
three of you guys did.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Those guys were talking soccer well beyond my levels, but hey man, I'm sure the fans at home loved it. This is Sandoval. Flag stays down. Going to ground was Pimentel, and Derrick will come out to gather.
Smart play by Pimentel, essentially just getting between Sandoval and the ball there. Didn't necessarily play directly to the ball, but got in the way enough that he was able to separate Sandoval from the ball. Would have been a corner kick if it rolled over the end line, but as you mentioned, Tyler Derrick able to get in between.
And Pimentel comes over with a ton of experience with his time with Club America out in Liga MX. The 32-year-old, he made 82 appearances there, recorded 2 goals, 1 assist. This one goes up for Fieldberg. Tambakis comes out to grab that, but going back to Pimentel, scored his first goal in a win against Monterrey on March 2nd of 2014. Scored his second goal during the group stage of Copa MX on August 15th of 2012.
You know, when I look at these match notes, every time I look at the match notes, I always try and see how many of these players am I older than. It's usually all of them. I think there's a typo in one of these because it looks like, according to these match notes, it looks like Vicente Sanchez was born in 1979. I don't think he's 50, 60 something, whatever it is. I don't want to do the math right now, but not a lot of players I'm older than, Tyler.
Suggs plays the cross in, looking for Sandoval back post. It goes over his head, as well as the arriving Sergio Rivas as well. Now this ball played forward, and Tete does very well to let that one run through. Kyle Edwards is very frustrated out there. He's already had words with Fieldberg a few minutes ago, this time off that run, motioning towards Wilmer Cabrera, letting him know how frustrated he is.
Man, how vertically attacking is Chris Weehan at all times? He sees a ball and he's like a shark who smells blood. He is all over it every single time. And now, not to be outdone by Derrick, Alex Tambakis comes out and plays the ball himself, trying to be a sweeper keeper too.
Kyle Edwards has been tearing it up lately. He's made some appearances on the national stage with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Debuted in a 4-0 win over Anguilla.
Situations like that just kind of goes to show you just how much this league has grown. Sully Muhammad talked about this in the press conference.
It's Fieldberg here. Get back to that thought in just a second. Fjellberg with some step overs, able to get by Najm, but eventually picked up by a 0.
Salih Muhammad asked about it in the midweek press conference. Asked about his teammate Amando Moreno as that ball goes well over the bar. Asked about his teammate Amando Moreno, obviously representing El Salvador in World Cup qualifying. And Salih Muhammad mentioned it just goes to show you just how much this league has improved, just how much this league has grown. You have players for teams like Jamaica, teams like the United States, teams like El Salvador, filled with USL players or former USL players. It goes to show the growth of this league and something that we're really excited to see. Obviously love to have Amando Moreno here playing for United whenever possible, but you can tell his teammates just absolutely thrilled watching all of the El Salvador matches and cheering him on.
Yeah, and that was something that the captain, Josh Suggs, said. We're all watching those games. We're all cheering for him. We're all behind him 110%, and it's that camaraderie that they've been able to build over the last couple of seasons. And it's really starting to take shape, as Troy Lesesne made a few mid-season moves here this season, Dave, for the first time in club history, bringing back David Najm, Chris Wehan, Salih Muhammad, all players that have played for the club before. So Lesesne obviously has an idea of the core he likes, the types of players he likes. And not only are they good players, but they typically just happen to be really good guys.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And, Troy Lesesne is somebody who is so focused on the locker room culture. He's talked about that a lot. And, you want to bring in players to maybe try and get a spark, as New Mexico United was kind of struggling towards the midpoint of the season. But you also don't want to mix things up in the locker room. You don't want to make things uncomfortable for your guys. So what do? You bring in players, one, that you know are really good, but two, that know your culture, know the hard work, humility, diligence that make this club what it is. And he's done a great job with it. Guys like David Najm, guys obviously like Chris Wehan, and guys like Salih Muhammad.
This is Andrew Tenari. He was a late addition to the squad just before the season started. That's another one of those players returning for a second season with the black and yellow. Fjellberg off to the races.
Advantage called there.
Juan Kuzain alongside, but what a tackle from Rashid Tete, the Ghanaian center back, stepping in to stop the attack.
He's been on fire the last few matches when he's been on the pitch. Again, it's him or Justin Schmidt a lot of the time. On that right side of the back three, and Rashid playing really well the last few matches in particular. Had a couple struggles here and there with some bad distribution, I think, towards the midpoint of the season. Really shaken out of that and become a force on the right side.
Tete out of Accra, Ghana. Sergio Rivas now turns. He's going to feed it to David Najm here on the near side. Najm previously played with Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Look how deep Bees is right now. He's almost playing as the left side of the back four at this moment. Completely out of position. I wonder if that's something intentional.
For those of you wondering, Bees is Chris Wehan. That's the nickname that was given to him by his brother.
Come on, if you don't know that by now, that's on you.
Here's Josh Suggs. It's the captain for this New Mexico side. Feeds Wehan. Wehan chips it forward, was looking for Suggs, and you can tell that was obviously something that they've rehearsed before.
Yeah, absolutely. Suggsy making that run in from the left side, coming from outside to inside, the overlap there, something that was just a couple inches away from happening. And again, looked like it was absolutely drawn up.
Ball played forward. Devin Sandoval makes contact there with, looked like Pimentel. 42nd minute, draws to a close here on ESPN Plus. Tyler Ortega, David Carl here on the call. This is the third matchup between RGV and New Mexico this season. They've split the points so far evenly. RGV victorious 1-0 in the season opener back in early May. New Mexico went 2-0 over the Toros on this field 10 days ago.
And by the way, they've split the series all time as well. One win for each of these clubs, as you mentioned, those two so far. But in 2019, drawing twice, 0-0 and 1-1 in those two matches. And by the way, there's only been one goal scored in the history of this series on the road. Can you guess who scored it and in which match? It's a heck of a deep cut. It's Carlos Small back in the match on the June 10th of 2019. The only away goal scored in the history of this series until today.
Elvis Amo. That's
yes,
what
of course.
That's what that was going to be my answer, is Elvis Amo. But yeah, you had me on that one. That's some fun trivia there.
Had to Google it. I didn't know that.
Some play back to Pimentel. The breeze starting up here this evening, as the weather has been just beautiful over the past couple of weeks here in New Mexico Falls, starting to finally set in as Tete has to wall off Kyle Edwards.
And he just barely did. Got just enough space for Alex Tambakis to get to that ball before the attacker did.
You know, perhaps the communication lacking just a little bit in the back line here this afternoon for New Mexico. David Najum.
And Kyle Edwards is quick. He's not somebody you can just allow to kind of hang around the back line and not communicate when he's around the ball. You mentioned that, Breeze. There's nothing better than a New Mexico October.
Sandro Tenari able to hold off Babacar Jai. Yeah, it was, 75 today. It was just absolutely gorgeous. It was pretty sunny. The clouds have started to move in here, so it's getting a little chilly, but a little bit of a breeze. You know, as you said, just a perfect fall evening here at the lab. And we've got a good crowd on hand here as well, as we've become accustomed to seeing New Mexico second in the league in average attendance, only behind Louisville, as Bruce called offside again.
Third time so far. Daniel Bruce looking very aggressive so far, which again, I'm sure coach likes to see. Like him to hold back a step or two to create some more of those chances. Was that chili reference an intentional pun?
No, it wasn't. I wish I was that smart. It's Tyler Derrick here to send this one away. So we are being told that there are 3 minutes of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. Great coffee, Dave?
Is a matter
of opinion.
There it is.
Oh.
I couldn't take that from you. That's yours, man. That's yours forever.
I appreciate the assist on that one, as Daniel Bruce has that one deflected by Asokad. Here's Ikaza. Playing that one back for Flores. Babacar Jai now has that one stopped by Rivas. Tenari now. Foul called in the midfield on Ikaza.
New Mexico United fortunate on that one right now. They looked pretty uncomfortable in defense there. Looked a little bit shaky as the ball's kind of pinging around the midfield in the defensive third or middle third right there. That foul called coming at a real good time for United. Look at that. Ball just jumps up on the lip of the baseball infield there. That was uncomfortable for Kalen Ryden as well. Smart by him to immediately play that back to Tambakis.
You talk about some of the challenges of not having your own stadium, Dave. Add that to the list. Here's Jonas Fjellberg getting by Rashid Tete momentarily. The cross was blocked, ricocheted back off the arm of Fjellberg. And a lot of time wasting going on from RGV here. That's the second time on a free kick. And our official, Malik Badawi, having some words with the Toros.
RGV looks like they're just comfortable getting to the second half even here. Are we going to see a card? Wilmer Cabrera not happy with something going on over there.
Cabrera not happy. The fourth official had to go over and have a word with Troy Lassane. It was real brief, it looked like. Badawi motioned at the fourth official, pointed towards the sideline. You couldn't tell if it was for Fjellberg or Lassane. Ultimately, the fourth official, Christian Campo, goes over to the gaffer.
Hey, Troy Lassane among the team leaders in yellow cards this season. He's got 3 on the year.
It's Tambakis. Tete looking to play this one over for Sandoval. Falls back to Rivas. Hands offside. Otherwise, it looked like Daniel Bruce might have had a tap in.
He was through, absolutely through, away from the defense, had about maybe 5 yards away from the nearest defender. If Chris Weehan, not going to call him Bees because apparently people don't know that. If Chris Weehan was about 2 steps back, Brucey has a shot on goal.
This is Tyler Derrick. Derrick in the all-red keeper kit. Looking like some of the fans in the crowd wearing the red chili version of the New Mexico Chili's kits. Haven't seen them, you should. Jump on the Twitter. Get on your face space, whatever you use. Be sure to check those out. An incredible homage paid it to the team in the past, like Dave was talking about earlier. All proceeds from the jersey sales benefiting the Somos Unidos Foundation. benefiting the Academy of New Mexico United.
One of the few academies that's completely scholarship in the country.
And that is the end of half number 1 between New Mexico and RGV. Goals from Elvis Amo and Chris Wehan cancel each other out, as Amo was assisted there by Edwards. Sergio Rivas picks up the assist for Wehan. Dave, some of your quick takeaways there from half number 1.
Yeah, New Mexico United continuing to make dangerous plays through the middle. It's exactly what Troy Lesane wanted to see. Obviously called offside 4 or 5 times there. Love to take a step back and make some more chances. You got to convert on those chances. New Mexico United looking dangerous. New Mexico United defense looking strong overall. Got to communicate a little bit better. That goal for Amo was a real problem.
We've reached halftime, presented by Smith's. Fresh for everyone. Let's take a look here at the 2 goals from the first half. It's presented by TLC as Amo just taps it in on the sweatiest of FIFA goals there.
Absolutely.
From Kyle Edwards. And this excellent touch from Sergio Rivas initially, and then Wehan on the super tight angle hits that one into the roof of the net. Again, it's halftime. New Mexico 1, RGV 1. We'll be right back.
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit BIOS in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
No. Welcome back here to the lab. New Mexico United tied with RGV. It is 1-1 here after the first 45. Halftime is presented by Smith's. Fresh for everyone, Dave. And this was a game that started out with New Mexico falling behind in the 6th minute. As we have a look here at the standings, just to add to how important this game is here, as we see New Mexico, these are points coming into this match. So New Mexico came in 1 point ahead of RGV. There you see just 1 point behind Austin and the playoff line. Bold have 1 game in hand. San Antonio sitting in 3rd, Switchbacks in 2nd, and El Paso comfortably looking to win the division.
Obviously that right side, the most important thing, but the match in hand for Austin almost as important as the points right now.
Some news and notes from around the league. We've got professional soccer coming to Lexington. The expansion team currently named Lexington Pro Soccer set to begin play in 2023. USL and the Players Association announcing a landmark CBA giving better pay and benefits to players in the USL, which is absolutely huge. And now Orange County earning USL Educational Scholarship, the 15-year-old Irvine resident receiving the first scholarship through Bellevue University that was flying out of Orange County. And now we've got some scores some upcoming games, from around the league. It's Tulsa and El Paso. That game getting ready to kick off here momentarily. We've got Phoenix and Oakland, Tacoma taking on Orange County, and Loyal hosting Sac Republic. Loyal, of course, hosting Sac Republic before, going up against New Mexico next weekend. Let's take a look now at this scoreboard here from around the league. Some scores from Wednesday. We've got New Mexico tying Hartford here at the Lab 2-2. Roots beating Sac Republic 2-1. Rowdies doubling up on Charleston 4-2. Real Monarchs and Switchbacks playing it to a scoreless draw. Let's have a look now at the road ahead for the Black and Yellow. Season is dwindling to a close, Dave. That match that I mentioned against San Diego coming up, but then 3 more Mountain Division matchups as the playoffs are tight.
It's the first time this graphic hasn't been completely full of matches. We've got 4 out of the 5 slots filled there, and you mentioned those last 3 matches. Really, all 4 of these matches crucial, but in division against teams like San Antonio, who New Mexico United technically is still chasing, RGV, who they are almost dead even with, and Real Monarchs, a match that New Mexico United would hope to win at home, hoping that they wouldn't need it in order to sneak into the playoffs. But you get down to that last match on the 30th of October, could be huge.
Moving on here, let's take a look at the team of the week. We see one player that's on the field here tonight. It's Jonas Fjeldberg for RGV. There you see him towards the bottom, but that is your player of the week there out of Memphis. And New Mexico looking to make up some ground here in the Mountain tonight. David, it's been quite the matchup here so far. 1-1 at the break. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back with some more halftime.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
Hey y'all, can we change up the chores?
Sorry, it's up to the wheel, man.
Oh yeah?
Hey, change the channel back.
Sorry, it's up to the wheel.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Around it comes Fox. Solignat, the back heel in! What a goal!
Luna is shot into the back goal.
Kuramoto has won it for OKC Energy FC. Oh, that is a brilliant goal from the substitute.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
In New Mexico, we know true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
Halftime at the lab here. Tyler Ortega, David Carl on the call. New Mexico tied with RGV 1-1 here at the break. Halftime dwindling down, but before we get to the second half, let's have a look now at the stats from the first half. Presented by Duke City Cares, your medical family. Of course, goals even, the most important one. Shots on target, also even, Dave. But one thing that's not even, that possession.
Yeah, possession by itself, Tyler, I've said this time and time again, a useless stat. But when you can combine that with the ability for a team to connect the ball better, to have a higher passing percentage, that makes all the difference. This is very similar as far as those numbers are to the last time these two teams met. New Mexico United finishing with around 65% possession to 35% for RGV. That makes a difference when you combine it with passing percentage.
United have been flagged for offside 6 times. They have 1 yellow card. It was Kalen Ryden. Disregard what you see on the bottom. There have not been 3 red cards.
Down to 8 men, my goodness.
There have not been 3 red cards issued to New Mexico. Let's go ahead and jump into some first half highlights presented by TLC. And we'll start off here with the first goal. Azira loses it. Ryden says, wait, I thought you had it. No, I thought you had it. Elvis Amos says, don't worry, guys, I got it.
Goals can be mental. Goals can be physical. This one, mental. A brain cramp by Mike Azira and by Kalen Ryden there on the back line leads to the goal for Elvis Amo. New Mexico United's goal, on the other hand, very physical, and we're going to get into that right now.
That was the 10th goal on the season there for Elvis Amo, as we now have a look here at Chris Wehan rifling into the roof of the net. Bees finding the back of the net for his 10th goal of the season as well.
Yeah, 10th goal of the season, 6th in black and yellow. And again, just as important as that great shot from Chris Wehan, the incredible first touch from Sergio Rivas, and then the distribution under pressure to the right side to allow Chris Wehan to have the opportunity to fire that into the net. Heck of a job and heck of an assist for Sergio Rivas.
So New Mexico tied with RGV. It is halftime presented by Smith's. Fresh for everyone. We've got a couple of minutes here until the second half begins, so we'll step aside, catch our breaths, and we'll be back with second half kickoff.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
It's the red or green event at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Shop now for hot buys and cool deals on the largest selection of in-stock furniture in New Mexico. Plus, we guarantee delivery for Thanksgiving. Get entertainment ready with our huge selection of in-stock dining with 5-piece sets starting at just $5.49 and in-stock sofas starting at just $4.49. American Home Furniture and Mattress. We guarantee you'll pay less.
We've all been waiting for the great unpause. But what if we took this moment to see our old lives as something new, something bigger than routine, something better than back to normal? Because moving forward, what we used to call just everyday life is what we'll celebrate every day. This will be the greatest comeback. Collect all 6 signature bottles, win all summer. Learn more at ultracomeback.com.
Get your associate's degree in 17 months with CNM Online. A fast degree, no hidden fees, books included, all at an affordable price. All of your courses can be completed online. Take the next step in your career. Get your degree from CNM Online.
Back at the lab, tonight's match presented by New Mexico True. It is New Mexico True Night, one of the theme nights here this season for the black and yellow. They're looking to pull off the home double over the Toros. They defeated them on this field 2-0 just a week and a half ago. Tyler Ortega, David Carl here on the call. And Dave, we are moments away from the second 45 getting underway. If you are RGV, what are some of the adjustments that you're making here at the half?
Trying to close down the center of the pitch. First and foremost, New Mexico United going long, New Mexico United going short. Both of those opportunities have been created in the middle of the pitch. If you can force them out wide, it'll make a difference for you defensively.
And on the other side, for New Mexico, you were able to get a goal. You see them playing the long balls quite a bit over the top. It's going to be interesting to see how much longer we see Devin Sandoval, or how much longer we see the current 11 out there. As we know, Troy Lesesne, he likes to make changes.
He does. And for New Mexico United, I think a key to the second half is the mental play. Obviously, the goal given up, as we mentioned, was a mental brain cramp a little bit. But New Mexico United got to communicate better in the midfield as well. There's been a lot of balls pinging around there that if you can take a second, you can take a breath, you can be calm, you can distribute, things will go a lot smoother.
So again, just moments away from kickoff, the second 45 here at the Lab. Goals from New Mexico scoring there. It was Chris Weehan and Elvis Amo. Amo scored in the 6th minute, exited the match in the 10th minute. It looked to have been a hamstring injury. He took a shot that was off goal, but immediately went to ground, grabbing his hamstring, called the physio out, and it looks like Pimentel may be shaken up a little bit as well.
Again, away from the ball.
Badawi, our official, came over. Malik Badawi came over to check on him. Edwards is going to be called for the foul. He takes out Rashid Tete.
Rashid playing admirably so far today. Really, really doing a great job. Again, coming across, playing kind of at the center of a back three at times, playing on the right side of a back three at times, and really New Mexico United kind of pivoting and shifting depending on where possession is. You'll see David Najam almost switch to the back part of a back three, the right part of a back three when the ball's on the left, and then when the ball's on the right, it's the opposite way. Najam moves forward, and Josh Suggs moves into the left part of a back three, and Kalen Ryden becomes your center part of that back three.
Cross going into the box here, looking for Edwards. It goes off David Najam. It looks like backheel flick. Here's Fjeldberg trying to play that across to Juan Kuzain.
That was not an easy play out. That cross kind of seemingly came from nowhere. That chance kind of coming from nothing. Again, an uncomfortable clearance for New Mexico United.
The USL's elite pre-professional platform, the USL Academy, allows clubs to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent and helping players transition into their USL senior teams. For more information, visit usl-academy.com. Here's Sergio Rivas. Turns. Picked up there by Pimentel. Denari now. Tried to cut it back and had that poked away momentarily from Flores.
Getting good distribution there from Sergio Rivas as he finds the head of Devin Sandoval. A bit too much on it, though. Devin Sandoval just kind of takes it on the head and goes out for a goal kick.
Tyler Derrick has had his hands full this evening.
Tyler, my notes keep blowing away. It's getting breezy up here.
It's getting breezy. Beautiful October evening. It looks like currently sitting around 75 degrees outside is one of the earlier kickoffs in New Mexico. 72 there. You see 22% humidity.
I love these 5 o'clock kicks, by the way.
I agree. That just means that we're going to be getting home before 11 tonight.
That's never happened for me, by the way. After the match, I got a lot to do. I got to write the post-match stuff. Never been home before 11 in one of these matches. Would love that day.
Tonight might be your night. You know, don't want to jinx it. Well, definitely don't want to jinx it.
We can't go to any sort of extra time, right?
Fair enough. Be notified that a lightning storm has just popped up out of nowhere.
Don't like
That's
to hear
a
that.
joke. That
Don't ever say that. I hate that.
This is going to be a throw in here for RGV, and looks like we did have a sub at halftime. Looks like Ronald Cerritos on for the Toros. Or excuse me, no, that was just Juan Kuzain. We're told that we had a sub. I don't see one.
I'm not seeing anybody different other than the 11 that ended the halftime. Checking on that, though.
So it sounds like we had a sub at halftime. Entering in, it is the right back, actually. It's Roberto Albuquerque.
Hey, you should play here. Come on.
As he checks in, he replaces Juan Carlos Azocar. So midfielder, excuse me, the forward switched out for the defender. Sandoval tries to flick that one forward. Pimentel stepped up into somewhat of a 6 role. Now he'll fall back to his center half. Here's Tete.
You'll notice in the second half, at least I have here in the early going, a lot less of a high press rather from RGV, content to sit back and wait for New Mexico United, ready to counter.
What a flick on there. Turning Juan Kuzain now. He's got Azira chasing. Ryden steps in to cut that one off.
And that's just smart. That's just anticipation, and that's just instincts from Kalen Ryden. Well done.
Heavy touch there by David Najum. Jonas Fjellberg has loads of space now. Overlapping run from Jai. Here goes Fjellberg, lays it off. Jai, cross in. Tambakis is there.
Again, anticipation there from Alex Tambakis, and good pressure from Rashid Tete, doing just enough to put Jai off the ball, forcing him into what was attempted to be a cross, but was far too close to Tambakis.
This ball played down. It's a foot race. Daniel Bruce winning that one. On the foot race, he didn't win the throw-in, and Bruce, he's been showing his frustration all night here, being whistled for offside continuously, and now slams the ball, goes into the book here in the 52nd minute, and that yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. You've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm.
Got to maintain your composure there. I know Daniel Bruce is frustrated. You mentioned he's been called offside a few times. Didn't agree with the call, thought it went off of the defender there. Should have been a New Mexico United throw in his mind, but you can't slam the ball down there. You can't cost your team. You can't give up a yellow card right there. Now he's walking on thin ice.
And if you're Bruce, you got to be smarter than that. This is your 3rd year in the league. You are essentially a USL veteran at this point. If you played 3 years in this league, and Bruce perhaps just letting his emotions get the best of him there.
But if you think that's going to make Daniel Bruce play on eggshells, you are sorely mistaken. Daniel Bruce doesn't have any other setting, as we mentioned with Devin Sandoval, other than just go.
And that's what makes him so valuable to this lineup, right? It's that non-stop energy. You can start him, and you're going to get a solid 75 minutes.
Yeah,
you can bring him on in the halftime, 60th minute, 75th minute sub. He is going to provide that boost off the bench with a huge injection of energy, as he has for the better part of 2.5 seasons now.
Yeah, he and Devin, both guys who, again, are going to give you 110% until they have absolutely nothing left in the tank. Sometimes that's a full 90. Sometimes it's 75. Whatever you can get out of them, again, it's going to be 110%.
Zira, the Ugandan, should I say Ugandan American.
That's right.
Following the naturalization ceremony prior to tonight's match, Michael Azira now officially a United States citizen.
So now we can go vote for the stadium bond, is what you're saying.
That is correct.
Love that.
For or against, whatever he's for. Suggs tries to play that one in. Blocked by Albuquerque.
Again, that's what Josh Suggs does best, bombing down that left side, whether it's with the ball or without. Trying to cross that ball in. Great block there from Albuquerque. But again, corner coming New Mexico United's way.
Bank of America corner kick here. It's the captain, Josh Suggs, to send this one in. This is just the 2nd corner of the match for New Mexico.
That Fjellberg down.
And Fjellberg goes down as RGV trainer will come on.
We've seen this happen time and time again here at the lab. I don't think a lot of teams recognize just how high the elevation is here in New Mexico. You know, everybody's aware that Colorado Springs, state of Colorado, very high up in the Rockies. You're over 5,000 feet here, ladies and gentlemen. What is it that the Lobos say? A mile high and louder than? ... That's right.
We'll let you figure out the rest. So RGV coming into this one. When they play on Saturdays, Dave, they're 5-5-5.
What a stat.
However, on the road, they've only won once on a Saturday. They've dropped 3. and they've drew 3.
This is the kind of stat work you get from Mr. Tyler Ortega. Look at this. You don't get this anywhere else. Saturdays on the road. Can you tell me how do they do in cloudy matches?
Well, I don't have that research done. I got caught up doing my real job for the club. Jonas Fjellberg is walking slowly to the sideline. It looks like he is going to be replaced, and we're hearing that replacing him is going to be midfielder James Murphy. Murphy started the match last time these two teams played here and was all over the place in the midfield.
This is so interesting, though. You've got a midfielder replacing a forward. Early you had a forward replacing a defender. It's all over the place here. Having formation changes out the wazoo.
A lot of stuff going on. Definitely keeping the statisticians busy for this one is Suggs. Now he's ready to send in this Bank of America corner kick.
Looking like an outswinger.
That's the captain, Josh Suggs, the lefty. Gives his men the signal, looking near middle. There for Sandoval. It falls back to Suggs. Back post. Not very often does Kalen Ryden not win the aerial duel.
That was a little reminiscent of Mike Azira's first ever goal for New Mexico United. Looking for him as he streams along toward the back post on that second chip. That was on Josh Suggs' first one, obviously looking for the head of Sandoval. Would have loved to see him connect just like he did in that first match.
And speaking of that first goal scored by Michael Azira, it was a corner taken at the far side corner where Suggs is now on this same exact goal in front of the curse.
That's right.
It was Azira's first goal for New Mexico. It was a late winner against Colorado Springs.
Followed up by Ilya Illich's first ever goal for United.
And those are the only 2 assists for Chelo Martinez this year as well on both of those goals. Here's Josh Suggs. Plays it low. Tenari goes to ground. No foul. Our official Malik Badawi looks over, wags his finger.
Fair to say the supporters disagree.
As they typically do when it's their team. This ball played in, and that goes straight to the hands of the waiting Tyler Derrick.
Nice play there by Derrick on the clearance. Ref says Sergio Rivas got in the way. He got a card there.
And Rivas trying to state his case. Doesn't matter anyway. Rivas goes into the book here in the 57th minute. A lot of yellows on the field.
It's 3 for United so far.
3 for United, 1 for RGV. So we have a look here.
Yeah, I think that's warranted. Sergio Rivas, you got to get out of the way. Got to allow the goalkeeper the chance to distribute.
Rivas trying to plead his case. I don't think he really stood a chance there.
Excellent work there by Daniel Bruce along the right side to earn that throw-in, by the way.
It's Kalen Ryden. Here's Rivas. So RGV, they scored first here tonight. When they score first on the road, they've won twice, lost twice, and drawn once. So that bodes well.
How about when it's cloudy?
I still don't have that
Come
stat.
on.
What are they in? White? When they're wearing white on the road?
Sure.
2, 4, and 5.
There you go. Mexico United undefeated when they have more goals than the opponent.
That is truly groundbreaking. So we have a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here. You see the curse, plenty of throwback New Mexico Chili's jerseys in the supporters section. You love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, all that supporting Academy scholarships. Love to see that. Love to see the support that supporters groups have, not just for the first team, but for those Academy boys as well.
Absolutely. It's a number of supporters groups here for New Mexico as Suggs plays this one in. That goes off Jai. However, Rivas is there for the second ball. Tenari. Back for Michael Azira. Weehan's been playing noticeably deeper since you mentioned it. Ryden now plays the cross in, and that one skips off of Tenari. Ball still bouncing around. Eventually it's Murphy. He's going to scoop this one forward. Edwards, somehow the flag stayed down. Edwards looked to be well offside. And now New Mexico looking to counter. How about this run from Daniel Bruce? Here comes Tenari. He's got Sandoval in the 18. Tries to go back post, looking for Sergio Rivas.
Man, talk about end-to-end stuff there. Back and forth and back and forth. A couple shouts for New Mexico United, calling on handballs there. Don't think they were warranted. I think the referee got both those calls right. But, man, end to end here. We got a sub.
We see our first sub for the black and yellow, and it is Chelo Martinez, the Rio Grande Valley native, replacing the Englishman Daniel Bruce. Martinez, of course, spent his first couple of seasons in the league with the Toros, leading the team in chances created. See, one of the bright young players from down in the valley making his way out to New Mexico for this season. He's been featured in Troy Saints' plans quite a bit, usually not in the starting lineup, but a good jolt of energy off the bench.
A good jolt of energy off the bench, and what fans of both of these teams will know him probably best for is he is a set-piece specialist. When New Mexico United is looking for a goal, they're getting free kicks in and around the box. He's the guy who's taking them most of the time.
And we've seen him in the preseason score some of those free kicks. Haven't seen him do it in the regular season yet, we'll say. Here's Sandoval.
He had one that was scored off of a free kick, but it wasn't intended to be so, right? It was sent in as a cross. That's up against Real Monarchs in Salt Lake. That was a very late one, maybe like 89th, 90th minute. Again, was intended to be a cross. I think it was looking for Josh Suggs up there, but ended up bouncing into the goal and winning New Mexico United that match.
Sandoval draws the foul there as Carter Manley is at fault. It was pretty contentious foul as the official had to immediately run over and guide Manley away from Sandoval.
It's a good thing we just subbed in the guy who does set pieces, huh?
So this is Chelo Martinez standing over the ball with Josh Suggs. An hour gone by. Tyler Ortega, David Carl here on the call. Right here on ESPN Plus, whether you're watching on Plus or throughout the state of New Mexico on Estrella TV, thanks for hanging out with us. Chelo Martinez whips this one into the box, and it looked like Ryden was going to connect with it. However, the back line of RGV holds tough.
And Tyler Derrick hitting the turf after immediately fielding that one.
You can see Sandoval standing right there. He's showing his palm, saying, what's going on?
And Derrick, it looked like he was telling the referee, don't stop the match, don't call over to my sideline. Referee did it anyway. But again, no trainer coming out means Derrick can stay on the pitch.
The uncontested drop ball gets us back to play. Now goes to Babacar Jai. Excuse me, that's Carter Manley. Going to ground there, Juan Kuzain. And RGV, they look to be sitting nearly like a 4-1-4-1 almost, with Murphy playing the 6.
Yeah, I think that's right. And again, sitting a little deeper than they were earlier in the match. I think, when you lose your top goal scorer, you lose your guy who not only is your top goal scorer, but your guy who's constantly known for pressing high, known for putting pressure on that back line. You got to switch things up. They've been sitting deeper since.
Ball headed back there by Murphy, and Derrick won't get the opportunity to pick it up. Ball falls back to Najim off the deflection. Decides to cut it back and go to Michael Azira.
Good ball from Tete.
Sandoval. So we were expecting a good crowd here tonight, Dave, and we got one. 6,934 of the black and yellow faithful here to support the boys as they're pushing for the playoffs here against RGV as Ryden cuts that one out. But New Mexico True Night, another great showing from the black and yellow faithful.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, on a night where Balloon Fiesta is going to be going on, the biggest event in New Mexico of the year. To get 7,000 people here while that's going on is no small feat.
And for those of you out there never heard of the Balloon Fiesta, check it out. If you've never been but you've wanted to go, make the trip. I promise you it is worth it.
Yep.
It is truly a sight to behold.
Well, Kalen Ryden, who is an amateur photographer himself, went out to Tulum Fiesta one of the days this week and put it on social media. This is he said, one of the best days of his life, one of the best experiences of his life. It is such a cool experience if you haven't had the chance to go. Whether you're from New Mexico or not, gotta check it out. It is a bucket list item.
It's super cool, and like I said, I ran into Sergio Rivas there last night. I saw Sam Hamilton was there checking it out as well, as we wish him well on his recovery.
He's moving pretty good.
Moving very, very good. I got to talk with him a little bit. He's satisfied with the way that his rehab has been progressing. Sandoval wins the throw in here. Restarts quickly. Martinez cuts it back. Chelo Martinez whipped it, but it goes straight to Tyler Derrick in goal.
Cheeky there from Devin Sandoval. The quick take as soon as that ball goes out of play. Immediate throw-in, and obviously we all know you cannot be offside on a throw-in. Chelo past the defenders. That's okay. Gets a quick shot on goal.
Ikaza gets by Michael Azira. He's got Edwards making the run, but as his run cut off there as Tete came up to apply some pressure.
Man, I love the pressure there from Andrew Tenari, just bulldozing in to the defender there. Not any concern for anything other than getting the ball.
Murphy, what a touch. He backheeled that one forward.
That's not Mike Azira's fault. I mean, obviously he's called for the foul there, but that's just a great touch. As you mentioned, Azira had no choice but to take out the man.
Ikaza, and that one's floated forward. Edwards has it poked away. Ball still bouncing. Ikaza now floats it over, and the shot is blocked. Going to ground is Najum, but that was Lopez, and excellent defensive play there from the black and yellow.
Yeah, excellent recovery ball. A little bit out of position to start with, but Kalen Ryden comes over and cleans things up. David Najum with 2 blocks in about 2 seconds there.
Sandoval goes to ground right in the middle of the center circle, and that is going to be a Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for New Mexico as Azira takes it quickly, and we're back underway.
Gotta love the tenacity right now that New Mexico United is showing. Again, getting caught out of position once or twice, but that recovery defense, that grit, that determination.
Here comes Martinez. He's got options. Sandoval might have gotten in the way there. Looked like he was looking to play the run of Chris Weehan, and going to ground there was Manley. Sandoval made contact there, and he's called for the foul.
Sandoval not liking that call. Looked like a bit of a coming together between the two. Would love to see the replay on that one.
There's Carter Manley out of Elk Ridge, Maryland. Played a key role in the back line for the Toros last season. He started in 13 matches, contributed a couple assists in that one. This is Tyler Derrick.
Tyler, if you're Austin Bold right now, you are loving this result. This is the best possible result for them, to see both of the teams chasing them, potentially dropping 2 points. Obviously, both of these teams going to be gunning everything they have to try and get 3 points on the evening and keep pace. Again, Austin with a match in hand on both of these clubs.
And they'll be in action tomorrow, as you pointed out earlier, so make sure to check that one out, ESPN Plus.
And that's at home for them against OKC Energy.
So here's Carter Manley. And if I'm Austin, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. We know here at the lab, for whatever reason, late goals tend to always happen here.
There's a lot of time left, too. 22 minutes plus stoppages is not a small chunk of change.
Back to Kalen Ryden. Ryden looking to pick out one of those patented long balls there. Just goes short to Azira, gets it back. Fans, you can join the USL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th. Visit uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage for exclusive content and stories that celebrate members of the Hispanic community that have shaped the USL. Tyler Derrick out to gather that one.
Good run there from Josh Suggs. He's putting pressure on Derrick, and a nice ball over the top. Again, a little bit out wide for New Mexico United, not as direct or through the middle as they had been kind of pushing through the first half. Got to imagine that might have been in Wilmer Cabrera's halftime conversation there. Get these guys outside of the center of the pitch.
So in the midfield there, that's Lopez. it back for Albuquerque. You know, and I know our cameras are facing the opposite way, but the backdrop that we are looking at right now with the sun setting on the Sandia Mountains is what pictures are painted of. Cross goes into the box there. It's sent away there by Najam.
What I said about October's in New Mexico is no joke. I mean, this, again, cameras aren't picking it up, so I don't want to tease the viewer too much, but it is absolutely gorgeous out here.
Tease them, let them come down to Albuquerque, experience it for themselves. Experience a match at the lab. I say this, you know, with all honesty, if you're a visiting team, a visiting fan, make the trip to Albuquerque. Come experience game day at the lab.
Experience the tailgate with the fans, absolutely. Supporters groups
everything
out there. Yeah.
Everything. It's such a fun atmosphere. You are doing yourself a disservice. If you've been thinking about it, you just haven't done it yet. Here's Rivas on the far side. Sergio Rivas tried to blow by Lopez there. Picked up by Jai as well. And double teamed. Rivas concedes the goal kick.
Sergio tried to go speed there to start. Had to switch over to strength after Jai kept up with it. There's your monitor. My goodness.
That's what we're talking about right there. Look at that sunset. That, David, is New Mexico true.
Yeah, there's a reason they call them the Sandia Mountains. Sandia watermelon skies, Sandia sunsets. You don't get sunsets like that anywhere else in the world. I've lived in a lot of places. Lived in New Mexico for a long time now. Call this my home. It is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
I will agree, as a lifelong New Mexican.
Santa Rosa boy.
That's right. Representing. Got a couple of changes here for the black and yellow. As we'll see Salih Muhammad and Austin Yearwood check into the match. We'll see David Najam heading out and Michael Azira as well. So a like-for-like switch there with Salih replacing Azira. And then on the back line, same exact thing with Yearwood coming in for Najam.
Don't expect much of a formation change with those guys. As you mentioned, like-to-like subs, as opposed to what we've been seeing from RGV for much of the night.
And Lesane, you know, he's very set in his formations and his systems, and that's something we've heard him say himself before is, you know, sometimes I'm set in my ways, and it can be to a fault, you know, but from what he's done here in his third season at the helm, he's really got this roster right, Dave. He's got a lot of plug-and-play types of guys, as you mentioned. The last 6 matches, straight swaps in the midfield. Name another team in the USL that can do that and post the record that New Mexico have over their last 6.
That's right. The depth is unheard of. The depth is uncanny, frankly. The ability, again, to just swap that guy out. You know, you've got a guy like Mike Azira who plays, as we see today, about 70, 71 minutes, does admirably, and then, yeah, you know what? Let's just replace him with Salih Muhammad. I mean, the depth on that is wonderful, and the ability for Salih Muhammad. Now you get somebody who can play in the same position, but provide something a little bit different. Salih Muhammad, really, really great with the distribution, particularly on those long balls that we've been talking about a lot today and saw a lot in the first half. Wonder if Troy Lesane's looking for a little bit more of that as he replaces Azira with Salih Muhammad here.
Salih Muhammad scored his 2nd goal of his career against RGV 10 days ago. Rivas plays the cross in, and Tyler Derrick is there to gather that up.
Hey, there's that long ball. Just called that. I think that's exactly what we're going to be seeing probably from New Mexico for a lot of the rest of this match. It'll be interesting to see how much longer Devin Sandoval stays. If he plays the full 90, as you mentioned, played the full 90 against Hartford, but he's the guy who really does well with those long balls, can chest them in, has great hold-up play, and find players like Chris Weehan streaking through. I think Mike Azira played alongside Devin Sandoval in the same lineup as typically, Salih Muhammad played along Devin Sandoval. It's typically really great for distribution on those long balls.
Yeah, New Mexico, you mentioned Sandoval, the only true forward they have on their roster here tonight is Illich, left out of the 18, and Brian Brown, as we know, has been loaned out to Oakland Roots.
Would you call Christian Nava a true forward?
I would not.
No?
I would say he's more of a 10.
All right.
Sandoval, I'm talking about a true number 9.
Yeah.
Good in hold-up play. He has a big body, able to elevate, get their heads on balls. Here comes Cello. Weehan was very, very involved through about the first 45 minutes of this game and really hasn't done a whole lot in this second 45, Dave.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And to be fair, New Mexico United creating fewer chances here in the second half. You know, defensive adjustments made by RGV making a difference here.
This is Austin Yearwood. the Charlotte, North Carolina native. Tenari unable to get to that one.
Just a step slow on that. I don't think was anticipating that pass from Yearwood. Tried to recover and get to it, but by that point it was blocked off and out for a goal kick.
That is Tyler Derrick, the veteran goalkeeper. Ball played forward, that's Edwards. Ikaza. Didn't look like he was passing to anyone in particular there, as that was right in between Juan Kuzain and Edwards.
Kalen Ryden says thank you very much.
Tete, 2019 New Mexico United Rookie of the Year, is voted on by his peers.
And not an excellent game so far. I mean, obviously that first goal nowhere near his fault, and really has distributed well, has been solid in defense, has swept over and played in the middle when he needs to. He's done a really great job today.
Here's Weehan. The Orange County native Chris Weehan returned to New Mexico after spending about half a season with his hometown club, Orange County SC. Was delighted to come back. We got to talk to him as Rivas tries to go around Babukar Jai, but excellent defending there.
Yeah, it was, again, another long ball played in. Rivas tries to cut the ball inside and then cut outside of Jai, getting around him. Not quite quick enough, as Jai is he's aware of it. He steps in between, doesn't allow it to happen, and goes down for the foul.
Babukar Jai from the Gambia. Played his college ball in D3 Wesleyan. He was named the USA South Player of the Year, first team all-conference, and was selected as a D3 first teamer as well.
That's the right ball from Sandoval toward Weehan, just a bit long.
RGV with numbers here going forward. They've got options. Lopez scoops that one into the box. Suggs plays it out. Weehan, excellent control with the chest there down to Sandoval, but Albuquerque wins that ball. And if you're just joining us, that is Roberto Albuquerque. Not calling it New Mexico United Albuquerque.
Although it was an Albuquerque native he was going up against in Devin Sandoval.
That is fair. Murphy tries to play this one in. It's cut out by Tete.
A little bit of space there for Dev.
Tenari up for Cello now. Cello, the Valley native, tried to cut it back and going to ground. It's going to be a throw in here for New Mexico. Thrown forward for Sandoval, but Manley is there to cut that one out.
Saw the early throw earlier from Sandoval to Cello. Cello trying to return the favor and put Sandoval through on goal, but Manley keen to it.
This is Ikaza, picked up by Josh Suggs.
Anticipation from Chris Weehan. That's 3 straight plays where he's anticipated the pass ahead of time. Been out there, calling for the throw in there. I think it looks like he's going to get it.
Yeah, Weehan just relentless in defensive pursuit there.
And just smart, right? Relentless, yes. Tenacious, yes. But I think just as important in this situation, as RGV tries to waste a little bit of time here, is that he's just smart and anticipating. Look at that sky. My goodness. How lucky are we to live here?
I know. We were talking about it a lot, and I'm really glad that we have such an excellent crew down there on camera. Because it looks like somebody from the United bench is going to be getting a yellow, and I think that might have been Zach Prince.
That's got to be his first, right?
I believe so. So Prince will get booked here in the 79th minute. Prince has stepped in as a caretaker manager on a couple of occasions as Troy Lesane missed a few games.
Excellent defensive recovery there from Rashid Tete. But corner kick earned for RGV.
Still tied here. Final 10 minutes coming up. This is a big-time Mountain Division matchup here In the USL Championship, these teams separated by 1 point coming into this one.
And you have to imagine if neither of these teams are going to be comfortable sitting back for 1 point. Both of them need 3 points to stay relevant in this playoff picture. Have to imagine they're both going to be gunning for 3.
Yeah, a draw here essentially just helps everyone else around you, namely Austin Bold. Edwards and Suggs both go to ground. Just look at our official telling him, just get up, guys. Just get up. That is Malik Badawi in charge of the action here tonight. Handed out a handful of red cards. You've got Rivas, Ryden, Bruce.
Yellow cards, that is.
Yellow cards.
That's our halftime
Zach
graphic.
Prince cross going in here. Header won by Ryden. Second ball by Sandoval, and Sandoval was fouled.
Sergio Rivas having a word with the referee. Referee doesn't want to hear it.
Suggs showing his frustration here as well.
Got to remember, Sergio is on a yellow. Crowd's getting loud.
So we should be seeing a couple of more substitutions here for RGV momentarily. See a couple standing over at the technical area. This one out for a goal kick. Final 10 minutes. 81st minute coming to a close here. So a couple of subs here. As we see the substitute get subbed off, it's Juan Cuzain. He's replaced by Vicente Sanchez. And also heading off is the forward Kyle Edwards, replaced by Adrian Vera.
Cuzain only playing, I mean, not only, played about 70 minutes, came in the 11th, leaving in the 82nd, but don't often you see a sub being subbed. Cuzain played well.
He did, especially for being a midfielder by trade.
A little bit out of position.
Asked him to step in and play up alongside Kyle Edwards. He did good. Didn't really create any chances, and that's something that I was just about to say. Aside from that early goal, RGV, they really haven't created very many chances.
Certainly not. I would love to see the XG so far on this match. I'd imagine it would favor New Mexico. With that said, there haven't been a ton of chances for either side in the second half.
No, and just looking at the numbers here, shots on target, you've got for New Mexico 2, 1 in each half. RGV has 1 shot on target. It was the goal that was scored.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that goal is simply a mental error. It goes to show how much, just turning off for just a second can make all the difference. New Mexico United hoping it doesn't haunt them.
A literal split second when you see that replay there as Tenari was trying to chase that one down, played out by Pimentel. Suggs as Tenari goes to ground. The New Yorker, Andrew Tenari. West Islip, New York is Tenari, the leader for New Mexico in assists. And, Dave, this ball played up for Suggs. If you would have looked at this roster prior to the season starting and said, give me your top 3 guys in assists, you probably would have went, not knowing that Weehan was here, obviously.
Sure,
You had Cello, you had Rivas.
Well, funny.
Would you have picked Tenari?
No, to lead, no, and that's it isn't intended to be a slight on Tenari.
No.
I'm not sure if you recall, but early in the season, I actually made a prediction that Chelo Martinez would lead the USL in assists. Now, he hasn't had maybe as many minutes as maybe I expected him to have, all of that kind of stuff. But Andrew Tenari, I think it's more of a credit to him. Second in the Western Conference in assists, again, trailing only a player who's no longer in the USL.
Yeah, Mishi Galina, as you mentioned, out at LAFC right now. So doing it at the top tier of United States Pro Soccer. And while Galina did play for Switchbacks a couple of times, again, look at that sky. We can't say it enough. It's just tremendous. Galina, an incredible player, and you love to see guys from this league getting that chance.
Well, it also helps when you're assisting the Golden Boot leader, and that Golden Boot leader is leading by, what, 8 goals, something like that? Nobody's catching Haji Berry this season, period.
Haji Berry could probably take the rest of the season off and still win by 5.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's incredible what he's doing in that Puma Golden Boot race. Is beautifully weighted through ball here for Austin Yearwood. Yearwood able to just corral that, and he's going to go to the corner flag and wins the corner.
Throw-in,
or a throw-in actually there for New Mexico. Great work from the third-year pro.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run and a heck of a ball played for him. Just over the defender, just in the perfect space for him to run onto it. Goes to the end line looking for a corner kick and earns a throw-in. New Mexico United retains possession.
Jai will scoop this one forward. Finds Lopez. Tenari cuts that one out. Looking at his options, goes for Cello. Cello has plenty of options. Cello gets through, slides it across. Sandoval unable to get a shot on goal.
What a move from Isidro Martinez. Nutmegs the defender, finds Sandoval in the middle. Sandoval with the flick to try and get that through. Handled there by Derek, but my goodness, if that had gone in, that would have been all credit to Cello Martinez on the assist.
Anticipation mounting. You can feel the tension here in the lab. While the playoffs might be a few weeks away, Dave, I think it's safe to say that they are in full effect here tonight for both of these sides.
It's a playoff game every single game from now until the end of the season for New Mexico United. Both Troy Lesane, Josh Suggs, and Sully Muhammad in that midweek press conference called this a must-win for New Mexico United, and they're going for it. You can see. Good idea there as the chip towards Chris Weehan on the backside, but just a bit too long.
Muhammad will head back there to Tambakis. That might have been the most effort Tambakis has had to put into a save here this evening.
Yeah. Again, unfortunately, nothing he could have really done on the goal there for RGV, as that was kind of a mental cramp by the back line. But, yeah, had to dive to keep that one in play and make sure it wasn't a corner kick. Foul call here, though.
So Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for the visitors.
Tenari can't believe it. Sergio Rivas not happy.
So New Mexico, RGV deadlocked, 1 goal apiece here, 87th minute on New Mexico True Night. Tyler Ortega, David Carl here making his ESPN Plus broadcast debut. It's been fun so far, Dave.
Yeah, I've had a great time. You know, we've seen goals, we've seen sunsets. We'd love to see one more as this game kind of winds into its last few minutes here.
Martinez has that one poked away. And RGV, you made a great point. A draw only hurts these teams. So where we're typically used to seeing teams come in and try to play for a draw, RGV's got to go and get it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. They're not going to be taking their time. They're not going to be sitting. They're not going to be trying to wind out the clock or take the air out of the ball. They're going for it just like United are.
Jai has that one poked away. Excellent defensive work by Austin Yearwood.
Yeah, Yearsy doing what Yearsy does best, which is positioning. He does positioning better than anybody. Yes, he's fast. Yes, he's athletic. Yes, he's talented. But the way he positions himself on the mental side of the ball, absolutely fantastic.
And it looks like we may be seeing one final substitution for Troy Lesane, and we're hearing it that the teenager Christian Nava will be coming on. Here's Babakar Jai. Scoops it in, looking back post. Excellent defensive play there from Suggs.
Love to see the academy product potentially coming on here for New Mexico United. We mentioned he played in the match toward the end of it, had about 10, 11 minutes against Hartford Athletic. Really played well, earned a couple corner kicks. Really was a spark plug coming on as he heads on right now in place of another Albuquerque native in Devin Sandoval.
I was about to say, it's New Mexico True Night. You can't get any more New Mexico True than that substitution right there. Christian Nava, the future of New Mexico soccer, replacing Devin Sandoval, who has been the face of it for the better part of the last decade, going all the way back to his playing days right across the street from us here at the University of New Mexico.
By the way, not too far from where the Chili's themselves, who we're honoring tonight, played their matches.
It's just a very rich soccer history here in Albuquerque, of course, with New Mexico United coming in 3 seasons ago, taking the league by storm, leading the league in attendance that first year.
It's funny, man. You know, I thought we'd see a little bit more urgency here from RGV, but it does feel like they are taking the air out of the ball just a little bit.
Ikaza here. excuse me, that's actually, I believe that's Lopez. They're down in the corner where it's just out of sight from us as the cross goes in, and it eludes everyone there. Across the face of goal, it looks like it might have taken a deflection of some sort. It's Troy Lesane showing off his receiving skills.
Earlier in the year, he made a nice little touch as the ball was coming through. Probably about a 40-yard kick coming right at him on the sideline. Tried to trap it and messed up his knee a little bit. So I'm glad he's catching the ball right now.
30 seconds remaining of the 90. While we've got a second, we'd like to let you know that there are 5 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion.
That'll never be not fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Working his way around there is Sanchez. It's Vicente Sanchez out of Uruguay. You know a couple of good footballers from Uruguay. Tenari gets right back up right after going down. Ball still bouncing around. Chaotic scenes happening here at the lab as they announce the 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Christian Nava, great job by him handling that ball. Kind of, as you mentioned, coming to him a little chaotic as Sergio Rivas gets fouled there. He's not happy. But a great job by Nava handling that ball, finding the space, you know, instead of just firing that off from about 30 yards, as you might expect a player to do. Taking the time, finding an open player, playing calmly, showing a little bit of strength and intelligence beyond his years.
Christian Nava, the 18-year-old on the pitch for New Mexico, fearless. When he gets in between those lines, it doesn't matter who he's playing against as Martinez sizes up this Fiesta Auto Group. Free kick, sends it in. Doesn't beat the first man. Ball still not out of the danger zone. And Tenari going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, Tenari went right into the defender there. Didn't really play the ball at all. I think that's the right call. Now, you mentioned Christian Nava kind of playing fearlessly there. That's something that Coach Troy Lesane has talked about a lot. You know, he's not just bringing Christian Nava in these moments that don't make sense. New Mexico United going for a winning goal here in a match that is crucial to their season. And who's on there but a teenager who's going to make a difference for them?
Asking for the offside flag there was Ryden, not going to get it. This ball floated back in. Sanchez tried to put a shot on goal. And Nava is going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, Nava goes into the back of the attacker there.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, you know, when you're Christian Nava and you're by far the smallest player on the field, not only in terms of height, but definitely by weight.
Yeah, don't tell him that, though. He's never going to not go into a tackle. He'll go into tackle with guys twice his size. Happens every single time he's been out there. Again, the third time today. He's going to go into a tackle every single time. Doesn't matter if people are bigger than him.
So delivering this one here, it's Rodrigo Lopez. And Lopez is telling Tenari to step back. Our official comes over.
It's going to be a card.
And he's going to give the card to Lopez for time wasting.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I think you've seen it a little bit from RGV. Again, I'm surprised by that. I've said this a couple times. Expected them to really go for the 3 points. But it seems as though they're relatively happy with a 1-1 draw if they can get it.
6th yellow card handed out tonight as the cross goes into the box here. Headed back the other way and just cleared out there. It looked like Chelo Martinez. There's Sanchez. Lopez now. Suggs cuts that one out. He goes as far there as Flores.
Entering the 4th minute here of a scheduled 5. Mexico United got to make their move quick.
RGV are in no hurry whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Again, surprising, really surprising. Both of these teams have their seasons on the line. And man, RGV in no rush. It looks like another yellow card coming out.
A yellow card's going to come into the bench of RGV as the throw-in was ready to be taken, and one of the RGV players rolled another ball onto the pitch. More time wasting, another yellow card. All these yellow cards, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm.
They're getting their money's worth tonight.
Proud yellow card partner here with the black and yellow. Ryden with the turn, and Ryden Just gets that away from his own goal.
And have to imagine with all this time.
Here's Nava. Christian Nava still in possession. And that's that fearlessness that we were talking about. Nava plays it down to Martinez. Is there a late moment of magic? Martinez. Here's Yearwood. Going for the one-timer, not going to get it. Yearwood saying it was deflected. Our official says no, it's a goal kick for RGV.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the right call. I think it should have been a goal kick. Obviously some frustration there. Sergio Rivas again throwing his arms up at the referee, hoping for that corner kick again. Tyler Derrick taking some time to put that ball down. But as you mentioned, a little bit of time wasting here potentially in the stoppage time. Have to imagine we'll go a little bit beyond 95.
Derrick sticks a boot through it. Headers won by Salih Muhammad. Flores scooping that one forward. Flag stays down, and Sanchez with an ambitious attempt.
Yeah, ambitious. A bit more than he bit off a little more than he could chew there, and about 30 yards over the bar.
Suggs going on a run. Surprised the official didn't call an advantage there.
Interesting not to see advantage called there. Suggs grabbed around the back of his shoulders there.
And the United technical area going crazy there. Can't believe a foul was not called as Nava goes down.
I get not calling the foul there, but play advantage. Didn't see the arm go up on the referee at all.
At all. Here's Ikaza. And with that, it is the full-time whistle. New Mexico RGV play to a draw here in front of almost 7,000 fans at the Lab. So Dave, full-time, your final score presented by Duke City Cares, 1-1. It's a night of disappointment, as you can see the expressions there from Chris Wehan. Some quick takeaways.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. One moment, one brain cramp can make all the difference in a match. New Mexico United, in my opinion, probably the better club tonight. More opportunities, probably better opportunities if we had the XG numbers. My guess is they would favor United, but all it takes is one mistake, and this game ends in a 1-1 draw, and this means a lot for Austin Bolt, by the way.
So we're looking at Chris Wehan. Let's jump into our play of the match, presented here by Michelob Ultra, and it was Chris Wehan, his goal in the 25th minute, his 6th this season in black and yellow, his 10th overall on the year. As David mentioned, notching 4 with RGV. Not only was that the play of the game, Chris Wehan, also our man of the match as well, presented by Pepsi. Bees getting it done.
Yeah, the man is just tenacious. The man has nothing but go, as we mentioned earlier. He's anticipating balls well. It's not just in the goal scoring. It's in the way he distributes. It's in the way he finds teammates and the way he leads the line.
And now this save of the match, David Najum with 2 blocks on this one possession. There's the initial one. Goes to ground, gets back up, and makes another incredible defensive play. That is your save of the match, presented by Positive Energy Solar. Generate positive energy.
And that took energy. I mean, to go down, be knocked down there, no foul called, no problem. He shows the grit that he has in David Najum. Gets in there, gets the second block.
The teams exchanging some pleasantries down on the field. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back momentarily to wrap things up.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for all the parents whose idea of a big night out is a 15-minute drive to a takeout window. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
For generations, we've watched the seasons change. My great-grandfather helped build this railroad. There's something special about fall in New Mexico. The aspens, cottonwoods, and oaks. There's nothing else like it, really.
Lab, it is full time here in front of 7,000 fans. New Mexico drawing with RGV 1-1. This is your final score there, presented by Duke City Cares. And now let's go ahead and jump in to the final stats, brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. As we see, things stayed relatively even, Dave, as the match went on. However, possession still favored New Mexico at the end of the night.
Yeah, 3 shots on target for the entirety of the match. A defensive struggle here tonight. And how large does Austin Bold against OKC Energy loom tomorrow? What are you doing at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Tyler?
I will be watching that game just as everybody else will. You can see 6 offside calls on New Mexico.
Yeah.
All of those coming in the first half, and I wouldn't be shocked if if all of those weren't on Daniel Bruce as well.
Won 3 of them in the course of about 5 minutes. He was getting frustrated there. Settled down, played some good ball, but that was a tough few minutes there for United and for Daniel Bruce.
These are your full-time highlights presented by TLC, and we'll start things off here. 6th minute, tap in, Elvis Amo notching his 10th goal on the campaign for RGV. He's their leading scorer.
Yeah, maybe not enough of a back pass there from Michael Azira looking to Kalen Wright. Maybe not enough on it. Kalen Ryden thinks it's going to be coming faster. I've got it, you've got it, nobody's got it. Elvis Amo's got it, and a 1-0 lead.
And that left New Mexico to fight their way back to even save a point. And right here, it was Weehan, 24th minute, firing into the roof of the netting there. That is his 10th goal on this season. He's got 6 for New Mexico.
Yeah, and we mentioned, on the first shot, it looked like he just slotted it home, but after watching the replay, he had work to do after some excellent possession there from Sergio Rivas and great distribution as well.
So this certainly makes things much more interesting. New Mexico still leading RGV by 1 point in the Mountain Division. Both teams on 28 games played. All eyes on Austin Bold as they are neck and neck with the black and yellow. Now with 2 games in hand. They will be playing tomorrow, as Dave mentioned, so make sure to check that out. As for New Mexico, they're back in action on Sunday, a longer break for them. They get 8 days before they travel out to Torero Stadium to take on Landon Donovan and San Diego Loyal. That's going to do it for us here tonight. For everybody part of our Windfire production crew, for our director, Gary Williams, David Carl joining me on Color. Dave, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It was a lot of fun. Happy to hop in here anytime.
We'll be back here at the Lab October 20th. Don't want to miss it. New Mexico in the thick of the playoff race. My name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.